So Scooby Doo and the Monster in Mexico, I'm going to have to say, I think this is bang average, as this is clearly not one of the greatest Scooby Doo episodes of all time.
Do not blaspheme! Do not blaspheme!
Sorry, but I'm just going to have to tell the truth here. And I think that this movie could not lace the boots up and the gloves of Cyber Chase, Alien Invaders and Witches Ghosts, even if they tried. I think that the character development, the actual story, the villain, everything just felt average. And I've covered this a lot in a few of the other recent Scooby-Doo episodes that we've covered on the channel. I think that there's something about Scooby-Doo episodes that when they're not at that level, they just come across as bang average and there's nothing special about them. And this is another example of that. I think that from the villain, he just felt like a major rip-off of Bigfoot. And I'm all for like trying to imitate a particular villain or going on culture and stuff like that, but this just felt like a major rip-off, I'm not gonna lie.
That's right, you're a big fat phony!
As well, on this particular villain of El Chupacabra, I think that the villain just underperformed and just felt like, he weren't like the worst villain I've ever seen, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like bland, unseasoned chicken. That's the best way of describing it. It's okay, but you want a bit of seasoning, you want a bit of spice, you want a bit of something to give it some flavour and to give this episode some actual things to rave about. There's nothing to rave about in this episode, and a lot of it comes down to the villain. The monster didn't look too bad, but it's not all on appearance. What impact they have in this movie, and they don't have that much of a large impact. And while we're on a rant on the villain, I want to talk about the middle section of the villain stuff, in which is when they're at the museum. The gang are looking for some kind of weird clues. I don't know why they're at the museum, in all fairness. I was trying to watch it as much as I could, but let's be honest, the plot was fucking boring. And they end up going to this museum, and it's full of Egyptian shit and tombs and whatever, and I'm thinking, I thought this was Mexico, Day of the Dead shit, and they didn't really lean into that Day of the Dead shit. And when they go to the museum, they're getting chased by fucking creatures from Egyptian times and stuff like that. Not like mummies and stuff, but that sort of ilk of these robotic things coming off. And you're just like, what is happening here? Why are we seeing all this bullshit in the fucking middle of the movie? And it's not even El Chupacabra that is doing all this. Is that particular villain is not present when all this shit is happening. Please somebody down in the comments explain that particular segment to me, because I simply just do not get why they went to the museum. Then they went, oh, right. And then they went back, and then it's like, that scene could have been taken out and the movie would have made sense. And on this, there was more Egyptian bullshit in this particular movie than there was in the entirety of Scooby-Doo, Where's My Mummy? That's saying something. Before we jump back into this video, guys, please do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a thing this week, next week, and the week after, because we've got tons and tons of content planned for you guys, and you can do us a massive favour by smashing that subscribe button, joining the community, getting updates to all the latest videos from the YouTube shorts to the actual videos. It is well worth it, completely free, and you will not regret it. I mean, the ending was just meh. And I love endings of Scooby-Doo episodes. It's meant to be your big finale, your big blockbuster moment of that particular movie, of the uncovering who's behind the mask. And in this instance, it just felt meh, simply for the fact that, not because she didn't predict it. Because in fairness, I didn't really predict the villain in this one. But at the same time, I think it would have been better if I were able to predict it, because this was just a little bit of a mess, in my opinion. As they revealed the first reveal to be Smiley, and then the second reveal to be the tour guide, and it was all love-based and everything like that. But then Velma looks twice and then goes, oh, she's wearing two masks. And then it's Charlene, and it turns out there was no love involved, it was all to do with money. And it's just like, why didn't we get to that straight away? Why do we have to mess around with that second mask and then go, oh, what about this, what about that? And I think everything just felt a little bit like, oh, it's over, thank God. And you shouldn't be really feeling that at the end of a Scooby-Doo movie. As to me, you should be feeling a bit fulfilled, like, oh, I nearly got it. Oh, I got it right, I knew it. And we didn't get any of that. And yeah, that's how I felt. I don't know if you felt that way. Let me know down in the comments down below. And also, I just want to talk about how this movie could have been a massive success if they'd have leaned more into the Mexico culture side of things, of the Day of the Dead thing that they mentioned, and then just sort of went, know what, we're not really doing Day of the Dead in this episode, and then just went and shifted to Egyptians. And it's like, what we're doing, flip back over to the right hand side, you felt like they had too much going on. You either go with the Bigfoot idea, you go with the Day of the Dead idea, or you go with the Egyptians idea. But they mangled all three together, and it just became a little bit, it weren't a complete disaster. I've seen complete disasters in Arabian Nights, we've all seen that. But this just felt a little bit wayward and a little bit, come on guys, you can do better than this. And it just felt a bit Spider-Man 3-esque of putting too many ideas into one particular film. So to summarise, Scooby Doo and the Monster of Mexico, to me it did not impress me at the slightest, but at the same time it weren't the worst Scooby Doo episode I particularly have seen. Hence why I've rated this a 6.8 out of 10 and a bang average film. So let me know down in the comments down below, do you love this film, hate it, is it amazing, is it bad, is it great? Let us know all that jazz down in the comments down below. And if you're not all Scooby Doo'd out yet, check out our Scooby Doo Return to Zombie Island right now.